Okay, here we go. Um, we are going to start talking about the important stuff in like a minute. Just wait a minute for some people to show up if they want to show up live.
I showed up live.
You sure did.
I'm literally like watching it.
Oh, you checked the actual phone?
Yeah, I'm actually watching it on my phone because I was like, I don't even know what this looks like.
We've been doing it. This is the fifth time, and we don't even know what it looks like.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty. All
This
right.
is a little too meta for me. I'm getting nauseous.
Yeah, I keep looking back and forth. It's slightly delayed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always actually everywhere is probably slightly delayed.
Yeah.
Anyway, how's it going? How's it going this morning?
It's going, man. It's going. We'll obviously get to the real stuff here in a second, but shoot the shit a little bit. You probably already said that. I wasn't paying attention because I was watching us over on this other side. It's fine. I mean, yesterday was chemo day, and it is mental gymnastics. That's the best way for me to put it. It's mental gymnastics every 3 weeks, and I'm through it. Although yesterday, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that
under your eye?
Oh, my eye. 6 a.m. It's pitch black out.
Oh God.
And the car door is dark blue. It's pitch black. I pull the door handle. I'm not paying attention. Literally
into your eye.
Into my eye. So, my oncologist like, what'd you do here? And like,
was it bleeding immediately? Because I know you're on blood thinners.
Oh,
right?
Well, I'm on blood thinners. So yeah, it was flowing. And it just wouldn't stop. I drove to LA for 2 hours and it wouldn't stop.
Oh, God.
Anyway. So
just another thing. Yeah.
Just another thing.
Throw it on there. Yeah.
That's right. What about you? And how are you?
I mean, yeah, I don't, it's going better than that currently, but I had a dentist appointment. If you go, it's like going to the dentist. It's like going to the mechanic, right? Where you like go for an oil change and then you're like, the whole car needs replaced all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So I learned in this last month very rapidly that I now need a root canal.
Oh my God.
Because of, get this, probably because of clenching my teeth for many, many years, which you don't really know you're doing it. But yeah.
I can see it though.
Yeah. And I was like, everything we talk about here, I'm like, that's probably a lie. Shit.
Yeah, as we talk about these things, you're like, yeah, that I'm doing exactly what we're talking about.
It happens a lot where we're going to connect the dots backwards. Like the stuff that happens today, you're like, God, it's so obvious now.
Yeah.
Looking back. Yeah. So anyway, not exactly car door into the face on blood thinners plus chemo, but
yeah, still life. Root canals. I mean, they're both like root canals. That's
exactly.
They're both root canals. No one wants it.
Yeah. All right. So we've been live for 3 minutes now. I think we can get into it.
Yep.
This is the fourth official stream of a show called Breakthroughs. How to get the breakthrough before something breaks you. And we'll keep explaining this in the beginning. That line really reflects, Chad has stage 4 cancer and was diagnosed 3 years ago. I had strokes when I was 30. And literally we didn't have a reason for those things to happen in the normal sense of the word. So we are very aware that other burdens and mental stressors in our life were probably a big part of why those things happened. So this show is from experience and our desire to help other people prevent that from happening. So if you're somebody who has any mental stressor, which is most of us, then, we don't want what happened to us to happen to you. That's really the summary. And the way we do this is we break down that vague stuff into what we call micro problems, like one element at a time. And if it relates to you, then we hope that we can break it down and give a breakthrough before something breaks you. So today's topic, today's micro problem, we're gonna talk about people pleasing and how things might change for you if you stop doing it. So anyway, Chad, would you consider yourself a people pleaser?
Yes and no. I think everybody would consider themselves a people pleaser in some capacity. It's like levels, right? Like 10 is like ultimate people pleaser. 1 is like in certain occasions. I'm probably like on the outwardly, I'm probably like the 3 level of like people pleasing, right? but inwardly I probably go up a few more notches. Like I can tell inwardly that I do want to people please.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know. It's all relative to what you consider people pleasing and how that feels. But I have examples, and we'll get to them, obviously.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, as you say it that way, everything we talk about is on some sort of spectrum, right? Like it also depends on who you're talking to. Like, are you someone who people pleases every single person and every single stranger on the street? Or are you like, this person matters to me, and so I'm going to put that effort forth? And actually, our brother-in-law, I realize this now, there was I was like a holiday like 2 years ago, and he used the word social grace, which I didn't know what that meant. I don't know if he made that up or not. And I was like, it's kind of that. Like sometimes it's like, what on the spectrum of social grace to I'm an asshole. like there's a broad spectrum of like, if you really said or did exactly what you think and do all the time in the moment, then oftentimes you're going to be very direct. And the question is do you want to disrupt the peace, or do you want everybody to feel warm and fuzzy inside, even if it's not what you want to do?
So when I hear that, right, I think of the way you're making it sound, especially when you say the term social grace, it makes people pleasing not seem like a big deal. And yet here we are talking about people pleasing as a legitimate
possible source of mental stress,
of serious mental stress, not just mental stress, but actually serious mental stress. So, I mean, frankly, this is kind of like we rotate these topics, and you chose this topic for today. So what prompted you to choose this topic?
Well, I think a big part about this whole live stream, how we're doing breakthroughs, right? We did this a long time ago when we were attempting a podcast like to ourselves, but we used to say we need to catch ourselves. Anytime someone says a fluffy word or a word that's hard to describe, we need to call it out and be like, that's bullshit. Like, give us a real, what's that actually mean? And so when I was writing down just my thoughts before today's little session here, I was like, well, we just throw around this term people pleasing in the same way we did a topic on perfectionism. We just throw a label around. And like, I feel if you are someone who resonates with that term or relates to it, I feel like people, they just accept it and they don't really even know what it means. So I think in 10 years ago, I was much more of a people pleaser than I am now. That's how I would call myself, right? But then like, as I'm writing these notes, I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, what does people pleasing mean? Because it's so easy to just take a general term that everyone kind of gets, but no one really knows how to describe. And then just sort of like, well, that's just me. And nothing ever is going to change. Right. So for me, what
are your bullets on what it like describe in like 3 or 4 bullets? What a person who is a people pleaser, what does that look like?
And I'm speaking from my own personal viewpoints, of course, obviously. But I assume this is what other people might be feeling too, which is, it's almost like I don't like conflict. Like I am what's that called? There's a label for that, right? Like I avoid conflict. I avoid confrontation, rather, not really conflict, but like, to me, it's kind of like, well, if I can get through this without disturbing the peace, meaning everybody in the situation that is involved, no one's hurt or angry or whatever, then that's like a win, But at the end of the day, I realize it's just sweeping it under the rug until another day, until another day, until another day. And so I think people pleasing is, for people who do it, I am somebody who feels happier when everybody else is in a good spot. And so what that ultimately means is that I am adapting to other people's thoughts and feelings and desires instead of my own, which essentially comes back to some form of misalignment of how I actually want to do things. So I am disregarding my desires or what I actually truly believe, so that other people, I'm pacifying other people so that I don't have to deal with it.
Can you give us an example of that? Give us an example. I don't care if it was 10 years ago or recently, but describe in detail what that means.
So I remember the flip like explicitly. And again, this is the Strokes. The Strokes, when an event like that happens and you're able to get through it, your awareness is at like a it's hyper aware of everything you feel. You're like, why am I feeling that? Let me think about it a little deeper and let me go, let's figure it out. So I think it was 7 months after the strokes, and someone called. No, I was going to visit our sister. I was going to visit in San Diego, and someone else was going to cross paths, and I was only going to be there for 3 days in San Diego. I can't really it would take forever to explain this whole saga, but I was going there for 2 days. Another person was going to come in, and it was like, they're going to miss me by 2 days. Right. And I can feel the guilt through the phone, through the text of like, hey, oh, that's too bad sort of thing. But I could feel the guilt through the phone. And so initially, like, I remember my heart started racing. My hands get a little sweaty. It's like, it's anxiety. It's a panic attack in a way. Like no one's there. And it's all
purely because you were not going to be able to see. Yeah. Purely, like you felt like a bad friend or a bad whatever.
It was like, it was guilt. It was like a guilt thing. And it was essentially, all of a sudden, I switched into this mode of, well, how do I adapt everything about my world to fit this other person's desire so that everybody is happy, So instead of thinking, what do I want and what's best for me in that moment, I'm thinking about what's best for other people, because if I do that, then I don't get this guilt. I don't get this feeling that I don't like. And, but post strokes, I acted very differently. This was pretty recent after the strokes. So I picked up the phone. I called that person. I said, I have no script for this call, but I need to say that this makes me mad. And I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change flights just because, like, it wasn't even expected that we were going to cross paths. And now I have felt this need to change my flight in order to cross paths. And that is extreme form of people pleasing.
Yeah. So there's a saying that I've heard a long time ago. If it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. Right. And the problem is people pleasing, that doesn't give you that line, because we're trying to make everybody else happy but yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's the lack of, I didn't want the confrontation. Like, I think that's like, because I mean, we'll probably get to it. Another shorter, quicker example is, I was invited to just to hang out with like people that I don't really know that well. And in my head, I'm like, I don't really want to go do this. Like, I have other things that are more important, again, within the year after the stroke. And I found myself making pre-excuses as to why I couldn't go. That is a sign that I'm about to people please. Oh, sorry, I can't do it because of I did X, Y, Z and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that is a red flag. All I have to say is, I'm good, thank you. That's it. Like, I don't need excuses. And so I started doing that, but it's really hard to do.
Yeah. And I think about how other people, well, not other people, I mean, we all do it in some way. It's kind of like, we'll call it white lies or little fibs. It's like,
to keep the peace.
Just to keep the peace. You don't want to be truthful. So it's the fine line between, like you say, you're going to come across as an asshole if you're being too direct, and everybody's like, oh, you don't want to be that way. Well, being direct, I mean, it's just honesty, and everybody wants an honest person. Let's be honest. If everybody was honest, right? Actually, probably everybody would be happier. But instead, we use the word direct, and direct actually has a negative connotation. I'm direct. Yeah. But if I say, well, I'm just honest, well, all of a sudden it's a little bit nicer,
Yeah.
But it makes me think about this, because you are definitely more of a people pleaser than I am, right? But you internalize it a lot from what I know and remember. And there's a term in neuroscience, well, just in science, called psychoneuroimmunology. And basically what that is when you think about something, you create the chemicals in your body that make you feel what you're thinking. And then usually what it does is the chemicals will then make you think more of that, and then more chemicals.
The cycle.
And it's just a cycle. It's a cycle. And then all of a sudden you're in that cycle. And you said here, your heart races, like you get sweaty palms. And it's like when you live that way, you literally are disrupting how your body operates. And I think a part of this people pleasing topic is coming up, because when we were working with this agency that we had made, You were you were so every Sunday night, you were stressed out about making sure that the clients were taken care of. Whereas like, I have no problem with confrontation, but you really wanted to be like, not just perfect, but mediated in a way where everybody is happy.
I was pre-mediating. I was, in order to keep things, and my role in that agency was like, I was the fulfillment, right? Like I dealt with the clients and I fulfilled all of the stuff. And so it felt like a lot of pressure on me to make sure they were happy, even though, I mean, if you've worked with clients, anybody out there, you know that they're not all great. Most of them usually aren't to work with, at least, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't really care about the thing that they're selling, but like you have to play the part, because if you lose the client, then the business falls apart, so there's that balance.
Yeah. I think the other part of people pleasing is not only being able to feel you can be direct and honest, but you also can't take it personally when someone's direct and honest with you. You see what I'm saying? Like if you can't take the directness or the honest feedback, then that's where also people pleasing comes into play, because all of a sudden, like you're like, I don't want someone to say no to me, or like, I'm not going to change my itinerary to meet up with you because that's a direct insult to me. If you take it that way, then you are going to people please all the time. So part of this is really just insecurity. Right? It's like, just be secure with fine. They don't want to hang out with me, or they don't want to change their flight. Shit happens. That's fine. We'll get it next time. Yeah. The problem is we hang on to that and we take it personally. And therefore we don't want people to feel that way. And so we people please because we don't want them to feel that way. So part of this is really, if I think about it now, is just kind of insecurity. I didn't even think about that before we even started until just now.
Breaks.
I don't know. Does that? What do you know? Holy shit!
That's sort of. I mean,
does that make sense though?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just this. It's like a game that everybody is playing that no one speaks out loud. Like it's just this constant thing. It's mind games. It's literally mind games, right? Yeah. Like this psychological. Like I gotta keep everything the same, and then they're gonna, I don't know, it's like throwing a ball back and forth, but like everybody's in the dark, and like no one really knows what everybody thinks, because no one's saying what they think.
It's funny. The other thing is people pleasing actually, every time we do a micro topic, right? Usually, let's say anything, the topic's going to cover across a few different topics. So like people pleasing is also because you want to be liked by people you respect, right? I do that. That's probably where I do my people pleasing. That's why I said this is where it's elevated, where I do things because, frankly, I'm just gonna be honest. I like to feel like I'm respected for something, right? And so like when there's somebody that I respect and I want their respect, all of a sudden I find myself adapting to them. Yeah. And I'm like, who gives a shit at the end of the day? But of course, that only came with my cancer diagnosis, where I was like, look, it sounds like I was gonna be dead. I guess it doesn't matter what the fuck they think, that's 2 F-bombs already, so I should probably dial it back.
It's all right. Ray Ellison, fuck yes in the comments.
All right, I like it. But so the biggest one for me, I think the biggest one for most people is people pleasing family. Right? My biggest one when I finally was like letting go is, so we grew up in Ohio, Northeast Ohio, Cleveland area, snowy Christmas, my birthday's in December, then it's Christmas. And I have seasonal affective disorder, like SAD. It's called SAD for a reason. And I would get super bummed out all the time. That's why I moved to California, because I just want the weather, right? Like people are like, it's so expensive. I go, I pay a weather tax. Everybody else is complaining. I'm not. It's literally perfect and sunny outside right now. And I remember talking to our mom, and I said, Mom, I am sorry, but I don't want to come home for Christmas anymore. It is miserable. I get depressed for a week. I can't do it. I'm not doing it anymore. I can't do it unless we're going to like Mammoth and going skiing or something, Yeah.
So we invited her. We invited all of them. It wasn't just her, but like we invited all of them to California. Like, hey, Christmas happens everywhere.
Yeah, but I remember how hard that was for me to say because I had to build that up. But for years, I would go back because I was like, I need my mom to feel good. And obviously, I want her to feel good. But it was always at the expense of my sanity.
Okay, the word expense is really good here.
Okay.
Like just every time you people please, it's an expense. There's cost opportunity, right? Like that's sort of when we talk about breaking down or like avoiding life breaking you, right?
Yeah.
The line. Usually it's an expense. Like it costs us something to people please, and it costs us like what we actually want to do. And so there's like always this dissonance. I want this person to feel good, but it's at the expense of what I actually desire. And so like there's like your whole thing of like you're on this highway and you want to drive on the other highway and there's a gap, and that gap is that mental stress, mental tension. And I don't know, expense I feel like is a good word that will probably come up again.
Yeah, it will.
There's a cost to being misaligned.
Yeah. So go back to this idea of misalignment because you stated at the beginning and you said it before we even hopped on live. But look, misalignment is honestly a big part of the breakthroughs, right? It was both of us. I was misaligned, you were misaligned, and then things broke down, frankly. And I call it inauthenticity stress, right? Because everybody's like, oh, I'm stressed. Stress is a huge umbrella bucket. Is it money stress? Is it relationship stress? Is it animal stress? What is it? Is it job stress? Well, there's inauthenticity stress. So that's misalignment. So talk to me about misalignment. What do you mean by misalignment?
Yeah, misalignment.
Or take it further.
One of those misalignment is one of those words that can be fluffy and no one really knows what that means, right? But I think it's what we just described, right? Where like, let's say it can show up in a billion different ways. Like, oh, I'm in a job that I don't really enjoy. I'm in a relationship that I don't really enjoy. But like you stay there because it's comfortable and safe for one reason or another. Like, I don't know, you live your daily life and it doesn't feel right. And something's off. I think people would say that something's off. They feel lost. They feel stuck. Like there's a billion words. And at the end of the day, a lot of that is caused by this overarching theme of I said this in the notes. I don't really like the phrase "live your best life." Like I don't know what the hell that means, right? But in a way, that is alignment, right? What does that even mean? What does living your best life mean? I was like, God, it's so vague and nebulous. But living your best life is, I wake up and what I am doing and actively working on lights me up. Like I feel good about it. It feels purposeful. I feel fulfilled, whatever that might mean, because it is what I'm driven to do, like internally. And so if there are elements of your day in your life where it is not matching, it's just mismatch, right? Like here's what I want and here's what I'm doing over here. And like this is going this and this is going this way. So it's getting farther and farther apart. And so that is misalignment. I mean, think about the wheels in your car. You get them aligned. If you don't have them aligned, it ruins your car because one wheel is this way and one wheel is this way. And now you're breaking down real fast.
This is all right. That's really good. I think, because that's really good. Great analogy there. Yeah.
It's called alignment for a reason.
It's called alignment. Yeah. Holy shit. That's pretty
If you're
good.
the car and your wheels are facing different directions,
Even
goes
slightly off. Slightly off, right? Those tires get
gradual.
worn correctly. Oh man.
Oh my God. I mean, I gave myself goosebumps because I was like, that is the easiest analogy to say when we keep talking about like you're going through life and everything's slightly off and then life breaks you. It's because the wheels, and if you're the car and your wheels are misaligned, it can be so gradual you can never feel it, but but your car feels that something is off, and eventually snaps.
Yeah. So we'll call my misalignment, right? Probably in 2006, 7. That's where my misalignment started. Slowly, gradually, and then slowly, the misalignment or the lack of alignment on my wheels finally just thing went kaput.
You couldn't keep it together anymore.
No, I couldn't. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It started. So alignment can start for so many years ago. That misalignment can start so many years ago.
To reference that, like now I'm thinking about, okay, when I snapped, when life broke me, when I was 30 and I had these strokes out of seemingly nowhere, leading up to that for about a year, that tension of like, my misalignment was like, I'm not doing what I want to do, and yet I'm still stressed about it. I'm stressed about shit I don't even want to do. And so like, and I, at some point I had a vision, you had your own vision of like, what is my life going to look like? And it's going to look like this. And now my life is drifting slightly to the right over here. And, that was, dealing with an agency that I was like, I'm not passionate about it, but it's taking up all of my mental energy to keep things together.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally it just snapped.
Well, let's think about, okay. So I use this analogy all the time for, the cancer experience, right? I'm driving my 4Runner, my old 90s 4Runner, and I'm redlining the hell out of it on one highway. Cause I'm like, I'm just going to go as fast as I can on this highway so I can get to the end of it. So I can get to the other highway that I want to be on. And that whole time I'm misaligned looking at another highway. And it's because it's this people pleasing concept of like, I need to be able to do these things in order to do what I want to do instead of just doing the thing. I don't know. I feel like we're starting to verge off or veer off. Veer and merge. Veer off into misalignment because it started with people pleasing. Mm-hmm. So misalignment almost starts in the people pleasing place.
I feel like this is why we throw the word micro in front of the word problem. It's a micro. People, they all are under umbrellas of some kind. Micro people pleasing is one element of misalignment, right? Mm-hmm. There's other elements besides people pleasing that make you feel misaligned. Like we just talked about them, like I'm doing work that I don't want to do. That's not people pleasing at all. But like the work that I'm doing isn't what I want. That's misalignment too. So
So well then because we're getting near the end of this here. Like the question for you then is well, if people pleasing can be such a big problem that actually cascades into other problems, right? What is the antidote?
Solution?
What is the solution to people
solve people pleasing?
I guess, let's solve it right now.
I was writing this out, and at the end of the day, it always starts with awareness. What does people pleasing look like to you? That's sort of the first thing, because I wasn't aware until something happened to me. I was like, oh my God, I'm having mini panic attacks inside. I had no idea. And I mean, the solution, it always comes back to the same idea of when I am people pleasing, what I am essentially trying to do is keep everything status quo. Everybody's happy. I feel like the sun, and everybody's a planet, and I'm just trying to like keep everybody like aligned, and nobody's feelings are heard, and I have the same friends, and like it's all of that stuff. When in reality, so if I stopped people pleasing, how things would change, referencing The Hook, probably what happens is there's a moment where I say no to an invite that I don't want to do, and that will rock the boat slightly because it's something that is new. And this is just an example, it can happen in many different ways, but either that person can be like, okay, no worries. I'm like, wow, that's a person that I enjoy, because like they're not trying to manipulate the situation to make me feel guilty or something. Or they do try to like, manipulate you into saying yes, or in this example. If that's the case, then that they're not your people, like it's as simple as that, and yet as hard as that.
So, okay, that's good. And I'm going to come back to what I said at the beginning, kind of realizing it actually comes down to security or insecurity, right? Getting rid of insecurity, because if you're insecure, then you're going to be more apt to people please, right? And that's what happens to me. That's what happens to most people. So I remember, and so how do you get rid of insecurity then, right? To get rid of people pleasing, to me, it is just practicing the art of saying no. Yeah. Right. And like when I told Mom, I was like, I'm not coming home for Christmas anymore because I can't handle the weather. Like that was extremely hard. Like I sat on that for probably a couple of years, honestly. And then I told her, and like, it was not easy for her to take it, but now it's fine. Eventually. And now like we went to Disney a couple of months ago, and I was like, nah, I'm leaving. I can't do this one. And it just gets easier when you say no. Yeah, it's a rep. So I go to Disney, and like everybody's doing, I was like, sorry, I can't stay any longer at the park. I got to go home. I mean, There's other things, obviously medical, but it's like, it was easy for me to say no. And it's repetition, it's practicing. And I think, yeah, practicing saying no.
Yeah. I think,
and being secure in it.
Because a lot of people pleasing is just saying yes to things you don't want to do.
That's
right?
it.
Like there's a lot of other forms of it, but I'd say that's the most common thing. Yeah. And yes, I remember the first time when I was at post-stroke, and I remember rewriting a text message like 7 times because I was trying to make up pre-excuses. And then I was like, I deleted all of it. I was like, hey, I'm not feeling it. And that's it. And they're like, okay, no worries. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, is that easy?
It took that long to get that out. And then every time later, it becomes easier and easier. So you're right. And again, there's a spectrum, right? If it's actually easier to say no to people who are like, these aren't my people. Like I shouldn't be with, be feeling obligated. It's a little harder with family, for example.
Yeah.
But then the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then all of a sudden, if they really care about you and you care about them, which is usually the case with family, then they accept it eventually. They're like, oh yeah, this is just who they are. And like nothing changes otherwise.
Yeah. So we're doing these live streams because we feel that Supply Run, the show, which if you're not familiar
find in the description.
Find in the description. But Supply Run is what we feel is a modality in helping us get out of these things, right? Out of these micro problems. Now, not everybody can do a Supply Run, but before we get to this Supply Run and how it helps, like, is there anything else that you feel you want to talk about in terms of this micro problem of people pleasing? Is there anything else you want to say?
Not that wouldn't take a good hour.
Yes.
I think we covered the bases in the practicing saying no.
Yeah.
And ramp it up. You don't have to start with the hardest no ever. It could be small.
Yeah.
That's probably the fastest way.
Okay. So then next question for you then is, well, how does this idea of Supply Run that we do, how does that help with people pleasing?
So yeah, this is interesting because when we do Supply Run, we don't actually know anybody out there. There's not really a big risk of disappointment of strangers because it's usually, it can be very quick. The only disappointment is the mission, the things we're delivering at the end. But what I recognized when I was thinking about Supply Run and people pleasing is I didn't feel it as much because we had such a specific purpose and goal. And there was no time to worry about everybody's emotions, especially from strangers that, again, probably wouldn't ever see again, all things being considered. And so when the goal is we need to collect this item and we need to get it here, then all of that feeling kind of just disappeared. Like we don't have a choice. So the purpose, the deadline helps, but also like the purpose of what we're doing is greater than me possibly disappointing somebody, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And I'm thinking about Supply Run and everything we do there and like where you're right. Like it's such a mix because it's cultural differences when we went and did Supply Run. Like you have to be a little slower in some areas. And at the other times you have to be direct. Vicky, he was something and I was getting pissed, but at the same time I had to be like, I was trying to balance between getting pissed and being direct with him and also like massaging it because it's just different culturally how things work. But it sure does give you that taste of being direct without repercussion in some ways, right? And that's, I think, what happens is people fear the repercussion.
Yeah, the risk of it, the downside. What is the worst case thing that can happen, right?
Yeah. So for you, like, how did Supply Run, like, when you're a people pleaser, like, were you feeling that on Supply Run, or did it change?
Specifically with Vicky, actually. And like, again, Vicky, there's none of that was planned, right? Like we were like, oh, there's going to be this guy we hung out with that dude for like 4 days and like nothing, it's fine. But because of all the pressure, and I'm the type of person who's like, we will get things done if everybody feels good. Because if we go too direct, too fast, like you're saying, then we lose our contact completely. And in that case, it was like, we need to massage it. Like you said, like we can't just be assholes because then he'll be like, I don't want to work with you anymore, and now we get nothing. So that's the risk reward scenario. But I think there's just a point, like the straw, there's just, when the purpose is greater than the moment, then you're like, we just have to take the risk. We have to say it needs to be here now, or we need to like find a different solution?
I think I just got one for how do we install this in our everyday life,
Okay.
right? That's easy because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for simple changes in our everyday because not everyone can go on Supply Run, but I'm taking it from Supply Run. Vicky got us an item that was it's ironic. It was a shitty item because it was supposed to be an outhouse.
Like a solid toilet
Yeah.
that can be used outdoors.
Yeah, pun intended. It was a
Shitty
shitty
shitter.
item. Yeah, it was a shitty shitter. And like, it was bad. And I told him, I go, dude, this is unacceptable. This is not acceptable. Like, we're not paying for this, right?
Mhm.
Now, how it worked out doesn't matter. But the point is, I had to be direct and say, this is not acceptable. The people in this community cannot use it this way.
Mhm.
And I think it was easy for me to say it. Would that have been easy for you to say that to him?
No, I was also super sick at that
You
point.
were sick
so
at
I
that
wasn't
time.
paying
Yeah,
attention.
you're right. You're right. You were
honestly.
sick.
Yeah.
So then that makes me think about the daily stuff.
Mhm.
When you're at a restaurant and your order is wrong.
There you go.
There's a lot of people who have a hard time telling having a hard time telling a waiter or something that this
order
is
was
wrong.
slightly
The
wrong,
drink
yeah.
isn't good. This is burnt. This is you put the dressing on when I asked for it on the side.
Mhm.
That's the easiest place to test. It's so hard for some people, but if you can just go to a restaurant and you get a wrong order and you say, that's not what I ordered, I paid for this, and you don't have to be obviously a jerk about it.
That's
But what I'm
respect.
saying, it's you just asking for what you paid for.
Mhm.
And like, that's the first step in getting out of people pleasing, in my opinion, if you have a hard time with it. Some people, like, I just don't care. I'm like, that's not right.
It could be
That's
at
me.
work when someone, I mean, it happens at work a lot with passive aggression in emails or messages or whatever, if you're working that sort of field.
Yeah.
And it's the simple thing of instead of saying like, yeah, and then you like placate it, you're just like, that's not my job. like saying something like that,
Yeah.
like give it to this person or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's
right.
other places.
No, this is good. We have more to explore on this. We're
Yeah.
finding that each topic we've got more to explore. So,
Because we have breakthroughs along the way. That's the whole point.
There are. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't even care if anybody shows. I mean, I care if people show up, but I don't care if someone shows up because like we're getting the breakthrough on the topics for ourselves. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna try that myself.
So
anyway, all right,
so
let's wrap it up.
If you're watching this, or you did watch it, after the fact, usually leave an answer in the comments or wherever this is you're watching this right now. But I guess the question is do you consider yourself a people pleaser? And then if you are, what would happen if you stopped people pleasing? Maybe just give it an example too. Like, what's the worst case scenario that could happen, and would that be bad or not? That's something to think about.
Yeah. And then the last question is, if you're looking for a breakthrough, can you message us, DM us? I don't even know how we're doing. Just DM us somewhere. If you're looking for a breakthrough on something, let us know. We're trying this out because we feel like we have some insight into this. Let us know if there's a breakthrough that we can help with, because we just want to talk about things that help us break through so we can prevent the problems coming down the line.
Yeah.
So let us know. And a quick shout out to Charlie. Thanks for watching, man. Thanks for the text today. And same with Nogan Beck. Nogan, I just got your message. I saw it. So thanks for that. And obviously Rael in the comment there. I don't know where any other comments are, but we're learning. So thanks for being there.
Thanks guys. And then if you are interested in knowing what Supply Run is or watching it, it's in the description wherever you're watching this, as well as if you fancy applying and being the courier like JD was, if you've seen the show, there's a link down below as well, so you can apply.
Cool. Big gulps, huh?
Well,
see you later.